What's up, guys? I'm coming to you live from Livermore High School, which is my old job, as I like to say. My old job. Let's get some better light here. Yeah. Actually, let's keep it here for a second. See, this calendar above me says March. That's actually March from 2020, so that's actually a year ago. And this is my old office. You can have a look. It's actually a medical facility, and that's because I'm an athletic trainer. That means I'm a certified athletic trainer. For those who don't know, it's basically when you watch football, watch any type of sport, soccer, basketball, baseball, anything. Anytime an athlete gets injured, the people who walk out there onto the field, or in my case, run and examine the athletes on the field, bring them up to the sideline. You see it in college sports a lot. That's my job, and I've done it well for the past 10 years. But I've recently started a mobile notary business, and I've automated that business. The reason why I automated it is because I really like my job. The job is a good job. It's fun. A good job, and I don't mean good as in like, oh, it's extraordinary. It's like I enjoy it. I like being around coaches and players and competition and sports. I'm a big sports fan, and if I can help athletes recover and get over their injuries and return to the playing field, then I really it's a job that I enjoy. But I also understand that business ownership is very important, and you can't pass down a job, so to speak. You can pass down a business, on the other hand. So I've built my business, my mobile notary business, and I've gotten it to the point where it's automated. In other words, when I get a request, more than likely I've never spoken to the person. They've either Googled notary or certain keywords, notary near me, notary in specific towns, cities, and they've gone on to my website. They clicked get an appointment, or they somehow got to my schedule. And I say somehow, but I know how they got there. But anyway, they got to the schedule and selected a date, a time, paid for it in advance, and then the last step is me getting a notification or an alert that tells me so and so scheduled an appointment, and now I need to show up at 123 Main Street in Anytown, USA at 6 p.m. to perform a notarization for a birth certificate application, something like that, right? Completely 100% automated. Rare occasions, my phone does ring, and my phone rings because, well, I'll get into that later, but my phone rings basically because either someone has a question, maybe something wasn't quite clear through that whole process, but nevertheless, I can. If my phone rings, I'm going to close you. I'm going to get you on the phone, and I'm going to answer your one or two questions, and then that'll end up in me sending you a link that does what I just explained, which means you select the time, select the date, and you pay in advance, and then I show up at your door. Okay. This is how you run an automated notary business. Now, you can run a signing agency or nationwide signing agency, which is just as lucrative, just as good. A little bit less of your control in terms of how the notary performs. But my business is the way I structure and operate the business is very local. So let's say you live in Miami, Florida, or Houston, Texas, and you have, uh, you know, you you perform notarizations. You're open for business, so to speak. Now, large cities or even small cities, you may not be able to get to every single appointment. You may not want to get to every single appointment, right? Not a matter of whether or not you're capable of doing it, based on whether or not you want to do it, or if you want to subcontract these services out to other notaries and allow them to complete the notarization, or if you want to subcontract the services out and complete the notarization. That's so I want to keep my job. So one thing, I wanted to keep my job, but I also understood the importance of business ownership. So how can I do both? This is how you do it. And this is a case that a lot of notaries find themselves in. They want to either try their hands at entrepreneurship or business ownership without dipping their entire body into the proverbial waters of entrepreneurship. Maybe you just want to, test it first, see how it goes, without giving up everything and just completely switching over to your self-employed entrepreneurship journey. This is how you do it. This is how I set my business up, and you could gauge it, how well it's going based on how you perceive it to be going, and then you can either dial it up or dial it back. Let's say, for example, it's 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Half an hour ago, I was supposed to be um, in a different city about half an hour away, completing a power of attorney. I'm obviously not there. I'm here. So how was I able to do that? How was I able to get that power of attorney completed and also be here at the same time? It's because I got the lead. They paid for it. I then contacted another notary and asked, and this is a notary how I personally know, and asked if they would be available to finish this signing. They said that they were available, and I sent them a payment, and boom, I just got a confirmation saying that the assignment was completed. I said how'd it go. They said it went perfect, and did they get paid? Yes, they got paid, and here I am. I'm actually available to do more signings. So the reason why I'm even making this video is because I'm like 3 hours early for a game that I mistakenly thought was earlier. And it's fine because I'm actually going to take a nap now. But what I'm saying is, I contracted that appointment out because I knew I had somewhere else to be. My job. Turns out I'm still available now. So technically, I could open up my schedule again and then I could receive calls, receive signings, receive requests. I'm going to leave it closed because I'm going to just chill and take a nap, but because I have a long night ahead of me. But this is the way to go, guys. If you are a notary and you basically get a majority of your work and your signings from loan closings and title companies and signing agencies, things like that, then that's effectively a job. And and you have to understand this, okay? It's not a matter of whether you agree with me or not. It is a job. A loan signing agent, notary signing agent is a job title. It's not a business if you are primarily doing loan closings. The bulk of your 9 out of 10 of your signings come from loan or loan closings, then you have a job, my friend. There's no You can spend it however you want. And how do you know this? And how do I know this? Because I did loan signing heavily, right? And I was looking for ways to scale my business. And I said, well, there's actually a guy, Jay Morrison, who's a real estate guy, and he's on, he's a personality. He's YouTube, does it very well. He said something very interesting one time, and I said, "Wow!" It kind of shifted my thinking. He said, "If you're not a CEO if you don't have executive officers." And I thought about that, and I said, "Right, you're in." There's other readings and other times I've heard things that similar that goes along the lines that if you can't step away from your business and it continues to go, you don't have a business. You have a job. You're either self-employed or you are an independent contractor. And again, nothing wrong with that. I don't say this to disparage or humiliate anybody, but that's just the fact. If you think you're a business owner and you're calling yourself a business owner, and in fact you can't step away from your business and it continues to run, then you don't have a business. You have a job, which is nice. You're self-employed, which is nice, but don't be confused. That's all I'm saying. Don't confuse the two. If you confuse the two and you continue to confuse these business ownership or these titles, then you're going to find yourself very frustrated. You're going to find yourself in a position where things aren't working and not going the way you want them to go because you're calling yourself a business owner when in fact you're not a business owner. So how do you scale a job? It's impossible to scale a job, right? You can't duplicate yourself. In order to do a loan signing, you have to be present. You have to be there. You physically have to be there. You can't step away from that and then the loan continues to be signed or closed. Right? Do we understand this? All right. However, on the other hand, with what you erroneously call general notary work, or I would refer to as specialized or highly targeted notary, then I could get 100 assignments in a day, and I could have 100 notaries complete those assignments. It's infinite. It's duplicatable. It's what Amazon demonstrated to us, that distribution is how you scale and how you grow a business to be essentially globalized, right? But that's Amazon. I'm saying in terms of notary, if you focus on the loan closing, which is not, there's no problem with that if that's what you do, right? If that's what you seek out. But if you want to be a business owner, and if you're calling yourself a business owner, then that is not business ownership. That's in fact a job. You have to be able to duplicate yourself and scale yourself. And that's what I've done. And I think a lot of notaries are out there who want to do this. And if you had a ways to do it, would you be interested in doing that? You probably would, but you didn't know or wasn't not aware of the steps in order to do this. But until now, until now. So I want you guys to stay tuned to this channel, and I will be revealing the automated sign-up system. This is not a system that's going to make you a better employee. This is a system that will make you a better business owner. It will allow you to automate signings, allow you to assign or subcontract out jobs, and you can use it for yourself, or you can use it the way which I use it, which I use it for my own personal, business, or in some cases, if I want to, if I have stuff to do, like a job, like my job, in which I have to be here, I can't not be here and it still gets done, right? Because that's a job. Then I can contract it out, like I did today, and I've done for the past, 4 months. I've done this, you know, this was a problem that I had to solve, and I've solved it. And the technology that exists today will allow other notary publics to solve this issue, this problem. Or if you're looking to get into notary and you haven't yet started but you still have a job, then this will allow you to test the waters. Okay? Automated signer system. We're building better business owners, not employees. All right, we're not making you a better employer. We're not. This isn't job training like these other systems that exist. This is how you would build and grow and scale your notary public business.